Hello, and welcome to Bonchon Bite Size K Drama Reviews. My name is Shannon, and today I am going to be giving you a ranked list of dramas I watched this year. I will start with my dropped dramas and tell you a little bit about why, then go into the ranking starting from the bottom. This year, I completed 36 dramas that aired in 2025. I dropped 6 of them. If I had to sum up my 2025 year in drama, I would say surprised. I'm saying this because I had high hopes for a few dramas that ended up falling flat and disappointing me. On the other hand, it was the dramas that weren't even on my radar that I ended up liking the best. Unfortunately, none will make my top 10 list of all time dramas, but that doesn't mean they were all a complete waste of time. All right, here we go. So, here are the dramas that I dropped. Um, so, I dropped Good Boy. It felt like this drama was going around in circles. They'd get the guy, then lose him. I hated seeing Park Bo Gum beat up constantly, and he had some kind of head injury that was he was ignoring. I also didn't buy Oh Jung Se as the bad guy. I made it to 12 out of 16 episodes. I was so close to the end, but I just couldn't force myself to watch anymore. I also dropped Oh My Ghost Clients. This drama really wanted to tug on my heartstrings, but it just never worked for me. I was bored. I made it to 8 out of 10 episodes, but just like Good Boy, I was bored and couldn't force myself to continue. My Lovely Journey. This one is pretty forgettable. I don't remember much about it other than I felt no compelling need to hit play on the next episode. I think I watched 3 or 4 episodes total, but I couldn't tell you much about them. Confidence Queen, I really wanted to like because I love Park Min Young. I love heist stories. If the focus had been more on the heists and less on the dark background for her, then maybe I would have stuck with it. But again, I was bored. And there's Dear X. I read so much hype about this drama online, but ultimately I made it through 5 episodes and found I just didn't care about any of the characters or the plot. I understand it has a lot of fans, so this is probably just a me problem, but this drama had nothing for me. I also dropped last summer, although I don't know technically if this was a drop. I only made it through like an episode and a half, and I just found I was confused and just kind of bored. And on the advice of some other people that had made it further in the series, I decided um, I just didn't want to continue with it. Okay, on to the dramas that I completed. I'm going to give a few reasons why some of the bottom ranked dramas are there. Then I'll kind of gloss over more of the dramas that landed in the middle, unless I have something really specific that I want to say about them. And then I'll end with my top dramas and I'll tell you a little bit about why I loved them. Okay, on to the ranking. In the last spot, probably not going to surprise anyone when I say 12. I have a whole episode covering this drama, so go take a listen. But to sum it up, just a terrible script, bad costuming, and a huge waste of the cast. Seriously, don't waste your time on this one. Then there's When the Stars Gossip, another waste of a cast. Lee Min Ho, Gong Hyo Jin, Oh Jung Se, they're some of the best actors out there, and this story wasted their talent. I was with this drama at first. I loved its quirkiness, studying mouse sex in space. Okay, weird, but cool. But I didn't buy the chemistry between the two main leads, and eventually the plot just became so silly, it was frustrating. The frozen sex in space became something for me to laugh at rather than swoon, and the heavy handed pro life message left a bad taste in my mouth. To top it off, I hated the ending. I was so highly anticipating this drama, and it was a huge letdown. Okay, Genie Make a Wish. I know this might piss some people off, and I am really sorry about that. If you enjoyed this drama, then I think that's fantastic. It's not a bad drama despite me ranking it low. I enjoyed parts of it, just not the whole thing. The plot had too much going on. It felt like there were a million side plots, and I absolutely hated seeing Daniel Henney acting like a dog. This one became a struggle for me to get through starting at the very beginning, but since I was watching it with others, I kept going. Again, if you liked this one, then I think that's really great, and I'm happy it has some fans. I'm just not one of them. Bon appetit, Your Majesty. This comes down to it being only 12 episodes, and over half of them involved a cooking contest of some sort. I was so over it. I will thank this drama for introducing me to Lee Chae-min, though. He was great. I'm just not a big Yuna fan, though, and while I liked her in this role better than others I've seen her in, she still didn't wow me. Ama. Kick ass women fighting the movie business patriarchy sounds right up my alley, but I couldn't connect with any of the characters in this one. It didn't capture my interest enough. It was very slick and glossy to look at, though. They did a great job with the visuals, but the story didn't stick with me. All right, Tastefully Yours. Kang Ha-nul carried this one. He did his best to really try and sell it. Unfortunately, he was let down by the script. An unexpected journey to Japan for 3 episodes in a drama that was only 10 episodes long really killed any momentum that it had. If they had just focused more on building a found family in a small restaurant, then it would have worked. I'm not a foodie who loves seeing fancy food made in a drama, but even for those people who are, I hear this didn't really do it for them either. Okay. In the 30th spot is The Divorce Insurance, then Dear Hongrong, My Dearest Nemesis, Potato Lab, and then Law in the City. So give my review on this one a listen. I know it's more towards the bottom than it is at the top, but it's not a bad drama. It's law, slice of life, but it's not one that really stuck with me. It may be in this spot, but that doesn't mean it's a bad show. Buried Hearts. I was totally into this drama for about 80% of it. It had lots of great twists and turns, but along the way, it kind of lost itself and lost me a little. Moving on to Weak Hero Class 2. I know I'm in the minority on this one. Sorry, the Weak Hero class dramas aren't for me. It's too much realistic punches. Season 2 especially felt like one long fight scene. To each their own, though. I recognize that Weak Hero class has some big fans. Moon River. Kang Tae-oh did such a great job. It's just that most of this drama didn't keep me invested. Okay, First Night with the Duke. So much love to one of my 2 p.m. faves, Taekyeon. I even won a signed Polaroid with the leads from Vicky's K-Drama Day giveaways, but this drama didn't wow me. It was fun enough while watching, but not one that will stick with me. Okay, moving on to Squid Game Season 3 and My Troublesome Star, Resident Playbook, Would You Marry Me, Undercover High School, Trauma Code Heroes on Call, Mellow Movie, Haunted Palace, When Life Gives You Tangerines, which I do want to shout out as being a very good drama. Like, I loved watching it while it was airing, and, the character still stuck with me. Uh, but ultimately, it, falls more towards the bottom of the top for me, I guess we could say. The Winning Try and Head Over Heels. Then coming in at the number 10 spot is My Youth. You can give my review on this one a listen. I thought it was a pretty good melodrama with good acting and great cinematography. Then comes Our Movie. Yeah, this one was definitely written to manipulate your feelings, and it worked on me. I thought it was beautiful and moving, and the actors delivered exceptional performances. Some people thought Jun Yo Bin played her character too young, but I felt like her character made sense given her backstory. It's a sad story that will be sure to have you reaching for the tissues. All right, Tempest. I reviewed this one as well, so I don't want to retread it too much. Suffice it to say, I found it exciting with lots of chemistry. Maybe it went off the rails a tiny bit at the end, but I found it to be a quick and enjoyable watch. The Manipulated. Ji Chang-wook brought the action in this drama. I might be suffering from recency bias by including it in my top 10, but the crazy twists and turns were fun for me to watch, even if certain characters were way over the top. Sometimes a bit of nonsensical action is just what I need. All right, in number six, we have Typhoon Family. I may be in the minority, including this drama as one of the better ones this year, but I really enjoyed the majority of this drama. Give my review a listen to learn more. Okay, number five, Spirit Fingers. Oh man, this drama came out of nowhere for me. I hadn't heard about it until it popped up on Viki when it started airing. I'm so glad I gave it a watch. It was the breath of fresh air that I was craving this fall. I'm fine with high school dramas, but they're not my go to by far. However, this one didn't feel immature to me. I loved the characters and its overall quirkiness. I thought they did a good job with the color palette as well, especially since color plays a big factor in the drama. I saw a lot of my high school self in the female lead, which was both nice and slightly uncomfortable, except I never had a tall, handsome guy trying his hardest to get me to fall in love with him. All right, number four, Way Back Love. On the opposite end of the spectrum, there is this drama. It ripped my heart out and stomped on it and then put it back into my open chest, but like in a good way. What a heartbreaking yet beautiful story. And the acting by Kim Min Ha and Gong Myung was seriously top notch. I don't want to mention the plot or anything about this drama because you just have to experience it for yourself. Okay, we're moving on to the top three. So, in the number three spot is Love Scout. The best romance drama of the year for me came out very early in 2025. Love Scout features mature leads and competence porn. It was such a heartwarming watch, and there's nothing else like it that aired this year. Watch it for the fantastic chemistry between the good leads, good supporting characters, and the warmth that this drama brings. Number two, Study Group. This is both another drama that aired earlier in the year and one that came out of nowhere to sweep me off my feet. It's also another high school drama, but it's super easy to ignore that fact because it's not really a high school story. I mean, it is, but it's not. I don't know. After I watched Study Group, I likened the action in it to anime. It's over the top and defies physics at times, but it's also comic book like, which makes it so much fun to watch. I don't remember too much of the plot details, but what I do remember is the found family and thrilling action. And can I mention the OST? It is amazing. The cinematography, the acting, the story, and the soundtrack all blend together to make a really excellent drama. All right, that brings me to my number one, Our Unwritten Soul. I really think this drama had it all: romance, drama, and comedy. Add on top of that it's a healing drama, plus fantastic acting by Park Bo Young and Park Jin Young. There's a lot to chew on with this drama: romantic relationships, mother daughter relationships, step parent relationships, workplace complications, and living with disabilities. And it handled everything so well. It's a slow burn drama, but so worth the watch. Nothing about Our Unwritten Soul felt like a retread or just another retelling of the same plot points. It had emotional depth to it, unlike anything else I watched this year. I highly recommend it. Okay, I just want to shout out the two J dramas that I watched this year: Romantics Anonymous. I wasn't sure whether or not to include this in my regular ranking list because it does have a Korean writer and a Korean female lead. However, it aired on a Japanese network, so I'm keeping it as a J drama. If I included it in the regular rankings, then it would have been pretty high up there. Go ahead and listen to my review on it. I thought it was a great drama. Cinderella Closet is the other one I watched. I highly enjoyed this drama. It has some really great things to say about gender and how we present ourselves in the world. It's a sweet story that is sure to give you butterflies. All right, so I've got a bonus, and that is the Korean reality shows that I watched this year. Beginning of the year, I watched Singles Inferno season 4. This one wasn't as good as the other 3 seasons. I really hope next year they change up some of the things and bring in people who aren't models and actresses. They could take a clue from another reality show I watched, which is Better Late Than Single. Loved this one. It needs some improvement for sure, but I enjoyed watching it. I also watched rented in Finland. This started airing in December of 2024, but finished in February of 2025. I'm mostly including it so that I can tell everyone to go watch it. Oh my God, it was such a charming watch to see these actors out in the middle of nowhere, Finland. I loved it. I also watched Good Day. I watched because some of my favorite actors showed up on the show, but I came away from it absolutely loving G Dragon. I've listened to his music on repeat this year and was lucky enough to score VIP tickets to his show in New Jersey. So while the show was quirky but fun to watch, I came away with basically like a life changing experience. And I read recently that it's getting a season 2, so I'm super excited about that. The last reality show I watched was Physical Asia. I haven't watched the other Physical 100 seasons, so I went in not knowing what to expect. What I got was a fun, nail biting show. Loved the different countries competing against each other. Loved knowing that I was sitting comfy on my couch while these perfect physical specimens did absolutely crazy physical activities that pushed them to the limit. Okay, so there are some things that are still airing, or things I'm looking forward to watching before the end of the year. I am dying to watch Dynamite Kiss. I keep reading great things about it, and it seems to be making people pretty happy. This one airs its finale on December 29th, so I might not start it until then. I have a feeling it will end up ranking pretty high on my list. I'm also pretty excited for Cashero, which airs on December 26th. I think it's dropping all at once on Netflix. It's another Lee Jun-ho drama that I've been looking forward to for a while. I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I'm also looking forward to Made in Korea, which stars Hyun Bin and is set in the 1970s. It looks like it should be a good-looking production. I think that one is on Disney Plus. There are dramas that are still airing that I'm watching live. Surely Tomorrow, which stars Park Seo-joon and Won Jin-ah. It's a romance melodrama that ends in January, so I'm not far enough in to give an opinion. Looking forward to 2026, there are a few dramas coming that are airing that I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping 2025's trend of me looking forward to a drama only to have it disappoint doesn't carry over. Releasing in mid January is No Tale to Tell. This is a comedy romance fantasy starring Loman from All of Us Are Dead and Kim Hae Yoon from Lovely Runner. Also coming in January is Can This Love Be Translated, starring Kim Sun Ho and Go Yeon Jung, and Spring Fever, which is a rom com starring a tatted up An Bo Yeon and Lee Joo Bin. Later in 2026, but I'm not exactly sure when, we get East Palace starring Nam Joo Hyuk, and that will be a historical action fantasy series. Gong Yoo is back in show business opposite Song Hae Kyo, and that's about the movie business right after the Korean War. We're getting a historical vampire drama with Bae Suzy and Kim Sun Ho, and we are getting a remake of Dangerous Liaison starring Sun Ye Jin and Ji Chang Wook. And finally, I shall hold on to my last thread of hope that Taekyeon's drama Soulmate, which may be a BL, there's some debate about that, that it will come out sometime in 2026. It was supposed to be released in 2025. At one point, we were told August, then October, then nothing. Will we ever see it? I don't know. I'm sure there are those of you out there yelling at me right now about some of my placements. I get it. I do the same when I hear or see other people's lists too. We're all different. And I always say that to every K drama, its watcher. Just because I ranked something higher or lower than you may have just, it doesn't mean that I'm wrong or you're wrong. It's just that one of those nice things about there being just so many good Asian dramas to watch. There's so much variety that everyone is bound to find something they like that others don't. I want to take a moment to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Thank you to those of you who have rated this podcast. If you're on the Spotify app, you can do this on the podcast page. Tap the 3 vertical dots, which bring up a menu, and select Rate Show. In the Apple Podcast app, search for the show, then go to its page. Scroll down to the ratings and reviews section, tap a star to rate it. I'd also love to know where I can connect with listeners online. As always, thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, if you'd like to share your thoughts, opinions, and suggestions for future episodes, you can find me on Instagram at Banchan K-Drama Pod. That's BANCHANKDRAMAPOD, or email at banchankdramapod@gmail.com. Bye!